Live from South Carolina, but welcome race fans, one and all, back to Green Flag TV. This afternoon, we are ready to rumble once again for the Lady in Black. This is the OMSRL Cup Series. My name is Old Man, bringing you all of racing action from start to finish of Tuesday night racing here on Green Flag TV. And boy, what a night it is set to be. 100 laps, 137 miles, getting set to kick off from this 1.3 mile oval, one of the oldest NASCAR tracks that is out there in the world, and of course one of the most famous as well. This track nearly had its doors closed in 2003. There were so many questions about whether this track be renewed for 2004 and beyond, but with that fantastic finish, it made itself a namestay. And boy, it is one that still remains deep in the hearts of race fans and race drivers alike. Taking a look at the championship standings entering today, James Silvers and David Farmer remain 1-2 in the championship, with Mickey Tuttle back in third. Looking like it's going to be a race between then your top three in the overall championship, as Silver is able to extend his points up to 452 over 434 for David Farmer, an 18-point deficit. Meanwhile, Austin Gassion will hang around in the number 5 spot. Tight battle as well for the 6th place of the points, with Sean Bounded just 1 point clear of Connor LaFrance, and 22 cars are set to rumble this afternoon. So that's how your championship shakes up for the top 25 in points entering racing action here this afternoon, as qualifying is currently underway. It is very much throwback weekend, so several drivers rocking some older, more classic paint schemes this afternoon. There's Bear Morton running an old Morton racing car. Here you can see Cole Fralick, who still running the more modern sim rat market look, while Austin McCulkin taking reference from Joey Logano from the 2010s, or if you'd rather, Tony Stewart back to the early 2000s with his Home Depot Toyota Camry. Of course, you got other drivers like Stephen Purcell running the old Interstate batteries. What would be a number 18, but right now is number 57, Austin Gassion. Still rocking the Sport Clips colors, while drivers like Maxwell Kroll are taking up to the tie shape. And then, of course, Justin Wilson running an order Napa Auto Parts 09 on his Chevy Camaro so far here this afternoon as well. So that's where things shake up here into racing action tonight. For the most part, qualifying already mostly set in stone this afternoon, as you got 17 cars that have qualified and another 6 that have not bothered to make runs on the racetrack. Not for lack of trying. Some drivers did make attempts. Spencer Ray attempted one lap, didn't go his way. Maxwell Kroll, Jacob Noyes both attempted 2, but it did not go their way either. So that is why we find ourselves slipping a little bit on the number of drivers that are able to get down in time. But qualifying here at Darlington, boy, it requires a lot of gusto if you want to make a big lunge for it. And sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't. And quite a few drivers looking like they're not going to be able to have it this afternoon. So only a partial grid to take to qualifying this afternoon successfully. So with qualifying going to be drawing to a close within the next 5 seconds or so, I think we're about ready to get another race kicked off here for Tuesday night OMSRL Cup Series action. And we are going to take a rundown now of what your starting grid looks like as we get set to rumble to life once again at the Lady in Black. Starting on pole position this afternoon, it is going to be the likes of Connor LaFrance alongside Robert Peterson on the front row. David Farmer will bring it up at the number 3 spot alongside Mickey Tuttle. Moving on down through the field, you got you got Cole Fralick and Ryan Dingler. Dingler making his 98th start this afternoon. Sean Kaiser down in 7th. James Silvers, your current points leader, back in 8th. Bear Morton in 9th, and Sean Boundy brings up the top 10. Austin McCulkin is back in 11th. Gage Taft is in 12th. Austin Gassion back in 13th. Rhett Rucker is in 14th. From there, Noah Swafford, Stephen Purcell, and Justin Wilson, the last cars to put down a lap time this afternoon, with Spencer Ray, Hunter Thoreau, Miguel Robinson, Jeremiah Hobbs, Maxwell Kroll, and Jacob Noyes bringing up the rear of the field with the bottom 6. failing to put down laps in qualifying. So just waiting on a handful of cars to grid on up now. Mickey Tuttle, James Silvers, and Mikael Robinson getting set to grid on up, and then this show will get on the road this afternoon. Tell you what, it has been a phenomenal season so far for everybody involved. Only 3 repeat winners. Those winners are James Silvers, Cole Fraley, and Matt Rucci with 2 wins apiece, and then of course Tuttle, Ray, LaFrance, Hobbs, and Grinnell all with wins on the board. So 11 races and 8 unique winners. I mean, that is something, to put it mildly, to have that kind of a stat sheet. And you know for a fact that a lot of these guys are going to be in it to win it. In fact, more drivers have a top 10 in this season than do not. In fact, you count all the way back to about, we're talking deep into about, 30th place or so, all has at least one top 10 on the board, really showing just how much these guys have been able to be competitive this season. And Darlington can be some of the ultimate competition. It is insane, it is intense, and boy, is it going to wear you out. Stage comes in at lap 35, going on to lap 36. So the field getting set to rumble. Jeremiah Hobbs having problems off the hitch, and the driver, the number 12 for Midwest Motorsports, going to be forced down into pit road early in this one. No idea what's going on for Hobbs, but some kind of major technical problem for the driver, the number 12, will put him down and out of this race before we even get started. And he has managed to figure it out now, so he is going to scramble to catch up to the tail of the field. I'm willing to bet probably had a brief wheel recalibration he had to go through, so he has been able to get that sorted. And he'll take up his place in the Mobile One Ford Mustang. Field, meanwhile, works itself off of turn numbers 3 and 4. We're happy to join us some more racing action here on a Saturday night. It's time to go, 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 and see who can tame Darlington Speedway. Turn number 4, it's going to be Connor LaFrance leading the first lap to green, this time by good showing there for LaFrance as he takes himself down to the turn number 1 with David Farmer right in lockstep behind. Single file for many of the top runners. You see double file all the way down to the field. Mikael Robinson going to drop back behind Noah Swafford in the fight for 18th. And now further up the road, Spencer Ray, your current defending champion, slings one to the inside of Brett Rucker, and he's able to pick up another spot, while Stefan Purcell also going to make moves. Got to watch for the potential freight train here this afternoon, and Connor LaFrance has just been overtaken for the lead, as we're going to see David Farmer pull the trigger and make the lunge down the stretch. But he's not going to take that lion down. Looks for the inside, this time by trying to get him back into turn numbers 3 and 4. Not going to get there this time around. So Farmer takes the lead. LaFrance drops back to the number 2 spot. Mickey Tuttle takes one away from Ryan Dingler. Sweeps across the nose. Dingler going to get in line with Sean Kaiser directly behind. Cole Fralick now looking around the outside of Robert Peterson. And he's going to pick up under the spot as well. So seeing a bit of field separation here early in this one. Further down to the field, Justin Wilson, Jacob Noyes, Jeremiah Hobbs all under a blanket. As potential battle started to pick up here, and one car down to the pit road early on. That is Brett Rucker. coming in early and looking like potentially, has big right side damage on the right front of that machine. So the number 69 Camaro for Tide has found the wall pretty heftily, it looks like. So that is going to be an unfortunate end to Rutgers' hopes of getting the race win this afternoon. Meanwhile, David Farmer refusing to be overtaken by Conor LaFrance, but Conor LaFrance really not making it easy for Farmer to maintain that lead, keeping him nice and honest throughout. He's so close being able to have a run, and he's actually going to have a run this time by. Looks for down the back straightaway and down to turn number 3. LaFrance, can he sweep through and pick off the spot? Just about. He is going to get into the door of Farmer down the front straightaway. But Eastern Star Motorsports flagship driver for this season not able to get the run done this time around. And Farmer hangs on for another corner. You saw pretty heftily Cole Freilich slapping the outside wall, exiting turn 2, and he's almost, he actually is going to catch it again, coming off of 4. That lets Robert Peterson get down to the bottom of the racetrack and not going to be able to have the run down into turn number 1. So looking like Freilich has gotten himself more or less figured out as he works down the back straightaway. Ryan Dingler, meanwhile, has got Sean Kaiser right behind him. So you really got the top 7 right now within 1.2 seconds in one long battle train here. So some awesome racing that we're getting, at least in the opening salvo. We're already 10% of the way through this race. Brett Rucker made his way back out onto the racetrack and has since immediately taken to the pits. This is why Maxwell Cole down low as he's going to pull it down to the inside and looking like it's brought it to a stop. And is going to call it game over. LaFrance back looking for the inside, exiting turn 4, this time by the Farmer. Rips the high shelf and is still able to get around him. Cole Freilich waiting in the wings, seeing if he's got an answer for the field up here. So Farmer, LaFrance, Freilich, and Moore all under a blanket. Here goes Baron Morton. He's going to be overtaken by Gage Taft, Sean Boundy, and Moore. It looks like Morton might have gotten a bad run entering turn 1, and now on the backslide quite significantly here as Austin Gassion gets through. Following through as well on the inside will be James Silvers, Austin McColgan next in line, and could potentially drop all the way back to 14th before the bleeding stops. Spencer Ray trying to go around the long way through 1 and 2. Doable, but difficult. But it's not going to happen. And a catch of the outside wall for Austin McColgan. Boy, a bit of an aggressive fight there, though. And going side by side, mid-corner is always a massive risk. See other drivers willfully giving up positions deeper in the field, not wanting to take the chance on going side by side so early on. So Freilich running 3rd. Peterson and Tuttle back in 4th and 5th. Connor LaFrance started to lose touch with David Farmer up the road as Farmer pulling out a almost a half-second gap here. He's got about a 5-car length lead built up on Connor LaFrance. You tell Connor's trying to find a way to get back to the front, but he's just lost all that momentum. I think burned his equipment off early in this run. Cole Fraley going to take full advantage of that. Looks to the inside, entering turn 1. But forced to lift and almost puts Robert Peterson into the outside wall in the middle of 2. So LaFrance gets one more. And Fraley going to have to try again. Sean Boundy and Austin Gassion in the meantime going to exchange hands. As Boundy going to move himself up into the number 9 position. Meanwhile, looking like potential catch of the wall here for Robert Peterson. And suddenly losing a lot of speed. Coming off at turn 2. Take a look. Yeah, just caught that apron a little bit, and that's what tracked him up and snapped him into the outside wall. So several distinct trains starting to form up here. You got second on back to about the number 7 spot. Further down the field, got a bit of a looser train between Sean Boundy all the way back to about Spencer Ray. And drivers being very respectful right now. Nobody's really pushing the fold just yet. I see Sean Kaiser to the inside of Robert Peterson. And can Robert Peterson hang on up top? He can. Fends off Sean Kaiser from the high side. Cole Fraley up the racetrack in the meantime, trying to get an over-under going on Connor LaFrance, looking for some way to start battling back to the point. Further behind, James Silvers looking like he's under fire now for Barrett Morton. As we work down the front straightaway, the number 4, the number 9, the number 6. Tracking under a blanket through 1 and 2. H-Taft also going to get around the outside of Sean Kaiser. And well, Cole Fraley couldn't make the move, so instead, Mickey Tuttle decided to try to make it for him. Didn't go his way, though. And Ryan Dingler now going to drive towards the head of the field. Further back, James Silvers, Barrett Morton, Spencer Ray. Oh, look out as Silvers catching the wall a little bit there. Up in turn number 4. But Morton not able to capitalize on the mistake. Although he's got him now, coming off of turn 2 down the Bowie backstretch. Spencer Ray to the inside, and oh, a collision there between Spencer Ray. Bodies James Silvers up the racetrack, and that's going to see Ray slip into 12th. Meanwhile, Hunter Thrower way down the racetrack on the front straightaway. What in the heck has happened here? This is coming off of turn 2, and you're going to be watching for 4 this time by. Hunter Thrower kind of struggling a little bit here with that throttle. He's going to catch the wall there. Jacob Noyes goes into the wall in front of him. And oh, look out, huge loose moment down the front straightaway. But what a save. That could have been a disaster coming onto the front straightaway. That was a fantastic job to wrangle that car underneath him. Take another look at how far sideways this car is going to step out here as... Did everything right there, didn't panic, and pedaled the car to get it underneath him. Gassione in trouble here as Sean Boundy is wanting to go. They've both caught up to Gage Teft. 33's been slowing quite considerably lately. Boundy thought about 3 wide. He's going to back out, though. So Gassione looks slow to the inside of Teft. And Gage Teft able to fend off Austin Gassione for the time being, but that's Sport Clip's number 11 Camry again scrambling to the inside. And Teft able to clear from up high. Gassione immediately gets back to the inside, though, but this time around, it's not going to go the way that Gassione was hoping for, as H. Teft is really hauling the mail right now to keep these guys in behind him. That's checking this field up into Barrett Morton and Spencer Ray as well. While this is going on, you've also got a developing battle for the top 5, who you just heard exit stage right. And Ray's going to get into the wall, catches Barrett Morton as well. Sean Boundy now wants to move. He's going to go down to the inside of Gassione. Gassione, though, forces him to back out. Meanwhile, up front, Farmer, LaFrance, Dingler, and Tuttle caught under a blanket. Connor LaFrance now looks for the inside on David Farmer, coming down to the turn number 3. Trying to hustle him down to the front stretch. Farmer hangs on for one more. We got 4 laps to go in stage 1. Farmer, LaFrance, Dingler, and Tuttle. Looking for 3 to go in stage 1. So Connor LaFrance going to take the approach of backing out, trying to see if maybe he can set something up while the fight for third going to escalate behind as Dingler tries to get around Mickey Tuttle. Tuttle, though, clears 1. And we got 2 to go. David Farmer, whoa, trouble back straight away. Sean Kaiser goes around. And Gage Teft plows into him. Violent impact on the back straightaway. And that will spell an end to stage number 1. Farmer second, Farmer first, LaFrance second, Tuttle third, Dingler fourth, and it's Freilich, Peterson, Ray, Gassione, Morton, and Boundy to close out the stage. Violent impact, though, for Sean Kaiser coming off the top shelf of turn 2. Take a look. Got to the back of Cole Freilich, looked for the inside, and just ran the 15 up the track and put Freilich into the wall. Kaiser himself spun around And then here comes Gage Taft, just nowhere to go. Try to cut low. He would have been fine if he stayed high. What a terrifying crash, though, for Sean Kaiser up top. That speed. And gosh, that is a lick. So David Farmer, Connor LaFrance, Ryan Zingler, Cole Frillig, and Robert Peterson will be the first 5 out of pit road. Let's take a ride on board here with Gage Taft, who took a vicious impact when Sean Kaiser got turned sideways. Golly. And from Gassion. Gassion just let Spencer Ray through, and you can see the crash developing up the road. And he is just barely going to make the avoidance inside. Looking like you might have gotten a tag from Barrett Morton as well. That will put us under the yellow flag for the first time tonight. Stage points have been awarded. And we're ready to go racing on lap 38. Green flag back in the air this time by as David Farmer going to take off and heads the field down to the turn numbers 1 and 2. Oh, Dingler catches the outside wall and Connor LaFrance slides way to the inside of the racetrack. He's able to gather it up, but the field now scrambling as he work off the top side of turn 4. Well, that lets Farmer get a 0.7 of a second gap on these guys. There's Justin Wilson just leaving pit road down low. So we'll fire down the back chute and take a look at the Hornet's Nest here coming into turn number 3 as Sean Kaiser nearly gets into the back of his All-American Motorsports teammate Hunter Thrower. Good grieving. This is insane racing that we're watching here as James Silver's going around the outside of Boundy. Whoa, no, look out! Robert Peterson just went down into the inside wall. Big. And look like he may have actually managed to keep it off of the inside wall. But a wild slide to the inside for Robert Peterson. Take a look back and holy cow. No way he managed to pedal that. Beautiful job on board with Robert. That is a phenomenal save. And this is what Spencer Ray saw, who was the one that got into him. Tell you what, both drivers doing a great job to get that slowed down, so that wasn't a wreck. That could have been absolutely massive. So we're working lap 43, closing in on the halfway point of this race. Farmer able to build up now a 1 second gap over the field. Ryan Dingler, meanwhile, is cleared by 1.3 from Austin Gassion. And we got more. Still trying to battle as he worked down the front straightaway into turn number 3. There is Kaiser trying to come to the inside of Hunter Thrower, but no dice. What those couple of close calls there has done is allowed for this field to get some separation going. Kaiser, Thrower, and Robinson looking as well. Caution flag going to come out this time by. And the reason, looking like Robert Peterson up in turn 4. So Robert Peterson going to get up and into the fence. And I'll take a look back to determine the cause. Oscar Colgan looks low and just runs him over, to be frank. Spins the 97 Klondike Mustang around. And puts him up into the outside wall, facing the wrong direction. This is about a lap prior. So McColgan's going to make the move to get a spot from... Oh, sorry. This is several minutes ago. No, that was... Oh, wow. Okay. Well, then. So Ray got to the inside. That lends a bit of a different story. Looking like Robert Peterson may have checked up and just kind of had that go wrong. Cole, James, and Sean all into pit road, along with Austin, Barrett, Spencer, Maxwell, and Robert. Sean Bounty going to leave pit road. Spencer Ray goes with. So the pack going to get lined up double file once again, and we'll get set to return to green flag racing on lap 49. David Farmer, Ryan Dingler, Connor LaFrance, Austin Gassion, Mikael Robinson, and Mickey Tuttle for the top 3 rows. pack going to work off the top shelf, and this race will get back underway. 3 laps shy of halfway. This time, David Farmer not able to get out in front nearly as quickly as he might have liked. Ryan Dingler anticipated that start very well, and he is hounded the back bumper. Meanwhile, 3 wide down the back straightaway. Bear Morton going to lift to help facilitate passes for Cole Freilich and Noah Swafford. While around, the rest of the pack is in hot pursuit into turn 3. Now looking to hang on with Thrower down on the bottom. Spencer Ray to the inside of Stefan Purcell. Is Purcell going to catch the wall? And Ray going to go with. James Silvers loses a spot as well to Jacob Noyes in the fray. Boy, the race that we're having, though, is picking up. We are past halfway, 51 down, 49 to go. It'll get itself, going to get itself quickly single filed out from Darlington Speedway this time around. Oh, and many cars catch the outside wall as we come off of turn 4. Hitting down to turn 2. That's going to cause a massive stack up here entering turn number 3. Look at Jacob Noyes trying to go down the inside of Stefan Purcell. Silvers is desperate. He wants to get through as well. Sean Bounty puts them 3 entering turn number 1. Now someone's got to back out, and it's going to be Noyes from the middle. Remember as well, all the cars like Spencer Ray that came down a bit. Ray came down, only took fuel. Silver's the first car in this field that's on the freshest tires out of anybody. So Silvers, Bounty, Purcell, Freilich, and Noyes all under a blanket here as the pack slicing and dicing through 3 and 4. Mickey Tuttle getting into the mix as well. Hunter Thrower going to look to the inside. Gage Teft going to get in there. So steadily working into the back half of this race, and it's all eyes still on these battles further down the field as there's not been one lap where they haven't been side by side somewhere in the back half. The race that goes on back here just as aggressive as for what goes on up near the front. Everybody is a racer and everybody wants to make the absolute most out of these races. So Taft and Tuttle going to work around with Spencer Ray. Up high, James Silvers going with. Whoa! And a huge tank slapper coming off the corner for Silvers. Nearly takes down the 53. Sean Bounty takes full advantage to get down the outside. And Freilich trying to follow around the top as well, but can't get it done. And we got trouble from straightaway. Miguel Robinson spinning around. No caution, though. Looking like he's going to catch that. And it goes wrong with Conor LaFrance. Hard to say. I think LaFrance came up a little bit, though, right as Robinson was coming off the wall, and they met in the middle. Could have been another big wreck, but we're able to gather it up, and no yellow for the time being. So Ray, Silvers, Boundy under a blanket here as Spencer Ray going up top. James Silvers cutting down to the inside. Sean Boundy gets to the mix there as well. And down the front straightaway. We still see the Shields number 6. Ripping strong down the backstretch towards turn 3. Sean Boundy still in the wings. Cole Freilich trying to back up to set something up. This racing is fantastic at a race like this, and you know that it's only a matter of time before somebody pulls the trigger and makes that lunge. The only question is, who is it going to be? Whoa! And Spencer Ray gets a little crust up coming off the corner again. Again, he's able to gather it up, though, and maintains his strong run down the back straightaway. Seen a lot of the battles for around 8th back to about 13th, but it's because there's not really anybody side by side anywhere else on the racetrack. These guys just keep teasing us by making these looks that they're just not able to follow through on. And finally, someone's forced to move as they catch up the traffic up the road. Gage Teft going to give up a spot to Spencer Ray, and looking like Hunter Thrower might be forced to do the same before too long. But Teft actually able to pull clear around the outside, and Ray now finds himself side by side with James Silvers. Silvers goes around the outside, so does Sean Boundy. So Teft, Thrower, and Silvers Hunter Thrower trying to look around for the inside. He's going to cover off the run from Teft. Jay Silvers now tries to see if he can succeed where Ray could not. Contact between Teft and Silvers off the corner. This fight continuing to escalate in aggression, and how long is it going to be before something breaks? Teft catches the outside wall again. Big, there it is! Look out! Cole Freilich sideways! He's able to gather it up, though! What a save from the 15 down the back chute! And And just like that, we got a new ball game up here. Right on board with Freilich here, coming off of turn 2. Main got to the back of Sean Bounty, and cat-like reflexes keeps that car underneath him. And a big battle going on for second as well as Sean Kaiser trying to look for the inside of Austin Gassion. No dice. Conor LaFrance also in the mix. They just got around lap traffic of Austin McColgan. This race has really come alive as a result of that last caution, and finally James Silvers is able to get enough of a run, but Gage Teff has a bigger one. Teff trying to battle back to the inside of Silvers. Silvers looking outside, but he's boxed in. Nowhere to take the run. Spencer Ray wants to make it 3. Freilich will make it 3. Well, Freilich 3 wide into turn number 1. Ray gets into the outside wall. Somehow we're going to keep this field together. Now there goes Silvers. Silvers spins, slide, save! Save for James Silvers! The points leader wrangles it back underneath him. Mickey Tuttle now rebounded off the side of Cole Freilich. Not having a second to breathe. Hunter Thrower now having to fend off Gage Teff. Boy, oh boy, that almost fell apart, but we're not done fighting yet. And we'll only take a look back at what happened there once everything here calms down a little bit. Thrower's been turned now. He's going to go to the outside wall. Somehow keeps it off of the outside wall. McColgan bounces into the wall again. Thrower looks to the inside. McColgan trying to block. No dice. Mickey Tuttle gets into the mix. Sooner or later, something is going to give. Battle for second is on. Gassion takes this spot away from Ryan Dingler just as they catch Justin Wilson. Sean Kaiser and Conor LaFrance going to be through as well. Hard into the wall for Ryan Dingler. He's going to go to the inside and let both LaFrance and Kaiser through up top. Now Conor LaFrance trying to go through. The battle for third is on, but Sean Kaiser is going to hang on. This is what James Silvers saw coming off at turn 2. Holy cow! That is unreal. Down the back straightaway, a huge save for James Silvers. And again, look at how far sideways that car steps out. That is unbelievable. Never have I seen a car shoot to the inside like that and be able to gather it up. At least at Darlington. So Tuttle, Ray, Boundy remain in lockstep down the back straightaway into turn 1. Less than 25 laps to go off pit road. Wild series of events we're having, and what a wild series of events we're having, and looking like we did have a brief drop in our connection for a hot minute there, so we'll try to get a look on what happened in just a second. There's a Gage Teff getting one up on Ryan Dingler. This was what happened. Mickey Tuttle trying to catch up to Spencer Ray here. gets around Sean Bounty, and you're looking for Justin Wilson. This happened down the front straightaway just seconds ago. Lucas Tuttle puts these guys 3 wide, not wanting to waste any time being held up by Justin Wilson. So 20 laps to go, and this race is still got a lot in it. Taft trying to fend off Spencer Ray with Mickey Tuttle also in the fray, still with 19 on the boards. And I think finally we're starting to see this field kind of drop apart and get a little bit of separation going in it. After about 20 laps of complete pandemonium on the racetrack. How we didn't get a caution throughout all of that insanity is frankly beyond me. That was absolutely insane. Gage Taft, Spencer Ray, Mickey Tuttle, 5th, 6th, 7th. Cole Fraley just about caught the wall there coming off in 2, had to lift to avoid going into it. Meanwhile, Taft doing a phenomenal job on keeping Spencer Ray at bay. This is the challenge with Darlington, is it is just so hard to pass here. So Spencer Ray finally going to find a hole on the inside of Taft, and looking like Mickey Tuttle is going to find the same hole and cycle right on through. So the pack turns around with 15 to go. We're going to have a quick check-in with the leaders as well here, as David Farmer, Connor LaFrance, and Austin Gassion have not been able to break away from each other much tonight. Taft right now 0.6 of a second back to Connor LaFrance in the number 2 spot, who just had to let through Jacob Noyes, who is right now 2 laps down, trying to make it 1, and 1 he will make it. And that will allow for Connor LaFrance to catch up David Farmer in the battle for the lead. So Cornerstone Motorsports versus Eastern Stars Motorsports for the race lead down the front straightaway and approaching turn 1. LaFrance has the favorable inside line, gets into David Farmer, bobbles, hangs on, and Farmer also retains the spot. Fraley going to get by Gage Taft as well, as looks like Taft has finally been booted out of the top 5. Took a while, put on a lion defense, but the pace of Spencer Ray, Mickey Tuttle, and Cole Fraley was not going to be denied. On the thrower, getting into a fight with Mikael Robinson. Is Robinson going to sweep through and take one up as well? And this is Dingler, Silvers, and Noah Swafford for 11th. First spot outside of the top 10. Silvers makes the move easily on Ryan Dingler in the middle of 1. And Swafford in the tie number 17. slings that car onto the apron to pick up another one as well. Meanwhile, Conor LaFrance chasing down David Farmer. Ten laps to go. Going to be 9 to go this next time by. And Conor LaFrance, seeing if he's got something for the number 23. Off of turn number 2, still no joy for LaFrance in his bid to try to find an opening. Could get lucky with some lap traffic here. Right on board as he takes the high line, exits low, gets a great run down the front straightaway, but it just isn't enough to get there into turn 1. The car up the road, I believe, is Maxwell Kroll. Oh, and he's into the outside wall, and that's going to let LaFrance get to the inside. Conor LaFrance clears Farmer trying to get back around the outside. But LaFrance is through and into 7th. Conor LaFrance. So far, only one win on the boards, trying to make it. He's trying to become the 4th repeat winner of the season. And he's got a serious chance of getting that job done, especially if Farmer cannot find some way to get back to him. Of course, a caution would pretty much force this race into overtime, and then we got a whole new equation on our hands. So 0.3 of a second. Down to a quarter with 4 to go. And a battle still on for the last podium spot as well, as Sean Kaiser desperate to find a way around Austin Gassion. Looks high, cuts low, can't get in. Three laps to go. Oh, and a catch at the outside wall there for Austin Gassion, as Sean Kaiser able to get a bit closer to that back bumper. Caught up by Ryan Dingler. Dingler stays on the low side, trying to help make it a little bit easier for these guys to get through. 2 laps now. And Gassion with a very late block to cut off the inside. He's going to go deep. Here comes Sean Kaiser. Kaiser's got the inside. Sweeps through, puts Gassion to the wall, and he's turned! Gassion gets away with it. Sean Kaiser spins. Caution. They won't make it back to the white flag. And it's overtime. Oh, boy. That is just two cars getting a little bit more aggressive than they should have. Coming off of turn number 2. Watch as Kynes is going to drift up, puts Gassion into the fence, and then Mickey Tuttle turns the 24 as the 24 was out of control, coming across the nose. Nothing that Tuttle did wrong there. A heavy hit into the inside wall will fire the Sullivan tire, number 24, back across the racetrack. And that sees us under the yellow flag for what could be the final time tonight. And we have pit stops as virtually everyone is into pit road. Interesting move. Cole Fraley taking 2 tires, everyone else taking 4. So we get set to go back to green flag racing for what could be the final time. We do have 3 attempts, though, at overtime. So green, white, checkered finish. Cole Fralick leading the way on 2 right side tires. Baron Morton to the outside, also on 2 right sides. Crown of France on 4. Green flag is in the air. Coming off the top shelf of turn numbers 3 and 4 to the Boeing back straightaway for the final time tonight. Multiple cars spinning around to the back straightaway. We're able to gather them up. Down to the turn numbers 3 and 4. James Silver's put to the outside wall further down the field. Crash front straightaway. David Farmer, no! The dominant car of the day. Put into the fence by Mickey Tuttle. Meanwhile, Cole Fraley trying to hang on against Barrett Morton. Hard catch to the outside wall. Here comes Barrett! Barrett Morton to the inside. The All-American Motorsports number 9, charging hard, turns 3 and 4. Fraley up top, and Fraley pulls back around to pull off a win. Unbelievable finish. Fraley becomes the first 3-time winner of the season. I thought he was in for it out of turn number 2. But drives back around the outside of Barrett Morton. What a wild conclusion to this race. And Fraley can burn it down on the front stretch. Two Kentucky natives going head to head. Both drivers drove it respectfully. An absolutely insane drive to close out this race. We'll take a look at this from the drop of the green flag. This was what happened to Hunter Thrower coming onto the back straightaway. He got into it with Noah Swafford, spun himself around, and was able to recover it. Credit to him. Unfortunately, David Farmer, the dominant car of the day, off the high side, just tracked up, cleared himself across the nose of Mickey Tuttle. What a disappointing way to close this out for the GG's number 84. And then this is the look on board with Freilich as he's going to pound the wall coming off a 2. Baron Morton takes to the inside, and at this point, it looks like Morton's got him beat. But Cole Fraley able to rip around the top side and fend him off for a win off of turn number 4. Unreal finish for the All-American Motorsports number 15. Let's take a rundown of your official post-race results this afternoon, as it is Cole Fralick taking home the win by just under 0.2 of a second over Barrett Morton. Colin LaFrance back in 3rd. Sean Bounty in 4th, and Austin Gassion brings it home in 5th. Gage Teft will be in 6th. Mikel Robinson in 7th. Spencer Ray, Noah Swafford, and James Silvers round out the top 10. Hunter Throws in 11th with Robert Peterson in 12th. Biggie Tuttle in 13th. Maxwell Kroll in 14th. Steph Brissell in 15th. Sean Kaiser, Jacob Noyes, and David Farmer close out the cars on the lead lap with Ryan Zingler in 19th, and Justin Wilson finishes down in 20th. Not finishing the race then was Jeremiah Hobbs, Austin McColgan, and Brett Rucker. Holy cow, what a night. I mean, that whole race, start to finish, man, was absolutely fantastic. Let's take a rundown of your official post-race result, not your post-race results. We'll get a rundown and get a chat here with the top 3 at the end of a wild night of racing, as we'll bring up first and foremost Cole Fralick into the broadcast booth. And Cole, coming off of turn 2, I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna have to settle for 2nd. How in the heck did you make that drive around the outside of 3 and 4 work?
I watched, I've watched Days of Thunder about 4,000 times. I know the tracks flipped from when it was back then. I just put my foot through the floor and hoped it stuck. And dude, I've never been so excited to win a race in my life, because I had no clue that the 2 tires were going to work. I drove it off into turn 1. It stuck. I was like, oh, baby, we're cooking now. So we got to the white, and I'm like, okay, Barrett's still behind me. Connor's not past him or near him. I think we may come home with this. And then I pop it off the wall on turn 2. I'm like, well, that ain't going to help. He gets alongside of me. I try to just stall the momentum. I go into turn 3. I thought we were going to knock it off the fence and off each other, and then come through here like it was 2003 Darlington. But, man, that was awesome.
You were in the middle of pretty much every major battle on the racetrack there was tonight. I mean, throughout the about lap 60 to 80 range, you were under a complete blanket and a complete hornet's of a bunch of other cars as well. Talk us through the fights you had in the midfield as well. And this is still, when you still had darn near half a race to go.
I don't know what we were thinking or doing there. Yeah, man, we just needed to figure it out, and we could not figure it out to save our lives, because there was a couple of us on new tires, a couple of us with damage repaired, a couple of us on really old tires, and we just could not figure it out to save our lives. I'm glad, honest to God, I'm kind of glad that yellow flew, because that saved my race entirely right there, because I was going to settle for like a top 7 finish or something. I wasn't even going to be top 5 or a podium there, so I just said I needed 2 more laps. That's not exactly what I meant, but I got it.
Well, looking forward to the rest of the championship. Things are continuing to pick up. I know you were in 8th place at the points entering tonight. You get ever closer to the top 5. Still got 4 races on the boards, though. What do you think is going to be in store for you when we swing out to checking the schedule? Oh boy, Talladega.
Yeah, we're gonna tear up some stuff next week. We're gonna debut a new Simrat Market car next week, so she'll be shined up until she gets wrecked on like lap 5. But yeah, we're just gonna ride out the rest of the season. I can't believe I got 3 wins on the season, let alone 1. So it's pretty solid for us. I don't know, it's just kind of riding out the rest of the season, and then gonna look forward to the next season, which I think is Xfinity cars. So we'll probably do good there. But yeah, I hate this dang car, and I've never won at Darlington before. So the fact that this combo even worked, I'm happy with it. Now I feel like I can win anywhere.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck when we go racing. Congratulations on your strong finish this afternoon, and we'll see if we can follow it up with win number 4 of the season at Talladega.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate you broadcasting. I appreciate the guys putting the league on for us.
Cole Fraley comes home number 1 for the drive out of Princeton, Kentucky. That'll bring it on home to his fellow Kentucky native, Barrett Morton, out of Louisville. And Barrett, holy cow, what a final. What an insane last couple of laps. You take home 2nd. Thought for a moment you had it coming off of turn 2. Didn't go quite your way, though. But the 2nd place, considering where you were, not bad at all. It's obviously the decision to make 2 tires in the green-white checkered.
Yeah, I can't believe it worked. It's funny because me and Cole were like, well, we're going to try this out. And if it works. And the funny thing was, the car felt great for the first lap. And then it just kind of, wouldn't turn at all after that. We got 1 good lap in. And then, that I saw him knock the wall down off of 2. Thought I had a big run. And I knew last thing I wanted to do was fence him and wreck us both. So I just try to be a little conservative, and then once I gunned it to try to get it to rotate, it didn't turn. It just pushed me up in the track, and I had to slam on the brakes, and I didn't want to wreck both of us. So glad to see him win though, but that was a lot of fun.
Well, it was a wild finish indeed, and a wild race as a whole. One of the cleaner Darlington races we've seen in recent memory, at least, but still had it was chock full of action. I mean, what was your perspective for the 103 laps?
A lot of people were complaining about the car and the setup. Actually, Cole was probably the biggest complainer the entire race. You can ask him about it if you haven't already. However, I don't know. I thought it was all right because you can change your line. Whether you shift down to 4th in 1 and 2 and stuff. And I really found something that was helping me out. And whatever I was doing was conserving my tires for the long run. So I was definitely fast in the long run. Passing was difficult, and I think I was just too conservative on the beginning of the race and stuff, and just not really fighting real hard and everything, and just trying to save tires best I could. But I don't know, I thought it was a pretty good race overall.
Well, we'll look forward to the next race at Talladega coming on up. What's in store for this All-American Motorsports number 9?
Survive. Just survive. I don't think I've ever won a restrictor plate race, so it's just crapshoot. We'll just draw a number out of a hat, and that might be your winner.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck when we go racing next week. Congratulations on taking home a 2nd place finish, and we'll see you when we go racing in Alabama.
All right, thanks, Noah.
Barrett Morton comes home number 2 this afternoon, and that will bring up Connor LaFrance, the final driver on the podium this afternoon. Connor, you took the 4 tires. The top 2 drivers only took 2 and weren't quite able to get the drive around them both. But a strong race for you overall, although you did lose the lead early on, and you spent much of the race playing catch-up with David Farmer. What happened?
Yeah, we were showed good speed at the start there, and then I'm not really sure what happened. And then we were like top 10, top 5, and I was just trying to save my tires as much as I could because I knew I was faster than most of these guys on the long run, and Darlington is really heavy on tire reading, especially on long runs.
Well, you're able to come out with an extremely solid drive this afternoon. Kind of walk us through your race as a whole, because this was something else this afternoon. I think that's the only way they could describe this one.
Yeah, it was definitely a handful. I knew I was going to be able to stay up with most of these guys, considering I had a good qualifying run. Usually I don't do good in qualifying, so I got my hopes up. And near the end of the race here, with like the 70 to 90 lap mark, I was catching David, but I just could not get by him with his dirty air, and I was begging for a lap car just so I can use it as a pick, and I got lucky enough, and I got one.
Next week, it's the Talladega Super Speedway. How do you think you're going to shake up when we go racing in Alabama?
I mean, it's a total toss-up. It's a coin toss for the race winner. So hopefully, like, we can link up with some teammates and we can get somewhere. So.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck, Connor, when we go racing next week. Congratulations on taking home a good drive this afternoon, and we will see you next week in Talladega.
Thank you, sir. See you there.
Connor LaFrance brings home a third place this afternoon, and that is going to bring us to a close this afternoon. Holy cow, what a night. I mean, that was something extra, to put it mildly. Well, coming on up on Green Flag TV, we, of course, have got several races in the works. We got, of course, big news over on Wednesday night with the PSR Simulating Expo Truck Series out of Bristol Motor Speedway, as is the Speed Cup Series, and sandwiched between them is the Beer League with their preseason race at Oschersleben for season number 11. The SRA IL Truck Series will see 3 drivers enter the ring, separated by less than 10 points for the Avondale 150 Truck Finals, and only one can leave Phoenix Raceway as a champion. The ASRL Xfinity Series is out for round number 9 of the circuit in 24 hours. Dumont, and be on the lookout for an announcement of another imminent series coming to Green Flag TV over on Sunday afternoon as well. And then the High Tide Race League Garden Premier Series swings out to Atlanta Motor Speedway at 9 o'clock p.m. on Monday. That's going to take us around to OMSRL once again, where we go racing for more action at Talladega Super Speedway. Once again, if you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. As always, my name is Old Rample. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you all when we go racing next week in Alabama.